have Preeyam Tolia joining in from Access Securities to talk about just that. Preeyam, hi, morning. Good to have you on the show today. Preeyam, give us a little bit of a handle as to what do you think is really happening on ground with the rural demand recovery? Because the macro parameters definitely point towards some green shoots. The RBI governor in his exclusive interview with us said that, he's not quite concerned and definitely it is on an uptake. What is really happening on reality on ground?
Yeah, sure. Good morning. On the ground, the demand environment, what we have gauged while speaking to the distributors. So there are certain pockets where demand recovery is still at the slower pace. However, what we believe is that also in Q4, that there will be not much recovery in terms of the overall volume growth. So we expect that the demand will be gradual, especially in the rural, but it will take time. Mostly in second half of FY25, what we expect demand should come.
Good morning. This is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. So yes, you're saying that, maybe as of now in Q4, at least we may not see that much of a recovery in rural. So then that K-shaped recovery trend that we've seen in the consumption side, where we are seeing premiumization as a trend that has continued, premium products doing much better than mass products for the last couple of quarters. That is something that will continue in the next couple of quarters as well?
Yes. So as the urban demand continues to remain resilient, but what we have seen from the portfolio perspective at the premium side of the portfolio for FMCG as well as in the retail side of the segment, the premium continues to remain strong is because the urban continues to remain resilient. We also expect this quarter should be similar in terms of the urban growth growing faster than the rural, which will drive the overall premiumization for the companies.
I wanted to just get in a view on ITC. Given that the BAT stake seems to be the clear news point, partial stake sale within ITC, how do you look at this news? How do you see it playing out for shareholders of ITC?
So what we expect is that there is nothing changed in terms of the fundamental of the company. From a longer term perspective, we continue to remain positive. However, for a short term perspective, for at least for 2 or 3 quarters, what we expect that is that due to the stake sale from the BAT, what we believe is that there should be a cap in the upside for the ITC. So we though remain positive on a longer term basis, but on a short term basis, we remain cautious on ITC.
Cautious on ITC for the short term is what you're saying, but overall, then what is your outlook in the medium to short term for overall the FMCG pack, and where should one be seeing the sector actually headed on, given that obviously we will be seeing in terms of rural, we'll be seeing elections that will be coming in, so that play comes out as well over there. So what's the view in terms of the medium to short term for FMCG?
So definitely, so there are 2 3 things which what we are looking FMCG as a sector as of now is that we are focusing on the companies on a bottom up approach where the companies which are expanding their distribution reach, secondly they are expanding their geographical reach, and thirdly the market expansion, and the fourth is the new product launches which companies are doing, right? So in this parameter, what as an axis we are looking in the FMCG is the Nestle, Jyothy Labs, and Varun Beverages fits into this particular. Uh, but the overall perspective for the FMCG sector, again, like I said in the earlier remarks, that the recovery will be gradual, and the companies such as HUL and Dabur, which has higher share in the rural markets, right? So what we believe is that those companies are likely to remain under pressure versus Nestle, Varun Beverages, and Jyothy Labs, which are going to continue on a which are likely to deliver on a volume growth on a steady state basis.
Okay, and Preeyam, just let's get in a word a bit more in terms of the paint sector as well. After Grasim, there seems like an increase in competition, but today we did have some reports suggesting that maybe the pricing for Grasim may not be very aggressive. What's your view on the paint sector? Anything that you would look at over there?
So paint sector again, since last 2 years, three players have entered into the market, and the recent one, the Grasim, which is the big boy in the new paint player. So what we believe is that the paint as an overall volume growth for the sector is likely to continue. However, whenever in terms of the margins for the larger players, what we believe is that it's likely to remain under pressure, at least in the near term, due to the overall discounts and promotion schemes. So there will be some cap on the earnings growth on that side for the at least for the paint companies.
We will be watching out for that space closely given the competitive intensity as well. So just keeping it stock specific within the consumption space, do you believe as a whole, firstly, that the underperformance is only going to continue? Do you have any particular recommendations as well for stocks that look good?
Yeah, so we like Nestle, Jyoti Labs, and Varun Beverages. What we believe is that they are likely to continue their performance in terms of the volume as well as on the earnings side, right? So we remain positive on these three stocks
Okay.
from a short-term, or medium-term, or long-term perspective.
Main positive on these three stocks is what you're watching out for. But, that concern is coming in for, cocoa prices, that cacao prices have seen an increase as well. Anything of sort of an impact that could come in on any of these players, because they do have, like Nestle does have a lot of chocolates that they sell as well. So that price increase is quite sharp in the last 1 year. Is that a concern that shapes up there?
Yes, so if you see from a portfolio perspective, where the chocolates and the coffee prices have increased since last 1 year, what we believe is that the companies are likely to pass on the raw material inflation. However, if you see from overall basket perspective, the other raw materials continues to remain stable, right? So there could not be a much impact from an overall gross margin perspective. But if you see from a commodity, the cocoa and the coffee prices especially, the companies are likely to increase the prices for the categories.
An increase in terms of prices for these categories is what one could watch out for. But thank you so much, Preeyam, for joining in with us this morning, giving